Did you go to a male prison?
They put you where they put you, Michael J.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 funniest Weekend Update characters.
Not like today, everybody feeling good about themselves. I hate it!
For this list, we're looking at the most hilariously memorable characters to ever appear at the update desk. If you could bring back any Weekend Update character, who would it be? Share your answer with us in the comments. Number 20, Leslie Jones, relationship expert. Leslie Jones is the relationship guru we never knew we needed.
Is it hard dating in New York?
Man, everything is hard in New York. Why does it need to be this cold, Colin? Why?
I think because it's winter.
Don't get cute with me, you frosty-ass snowman.
Appearing multiple times on Weekend Update, she shared some hot tips based on her own experiences. Well, actually, it would often turn into a vent session about her love life, but one that we could all relate to and learn from.
My perfect man is happy, kind, a good kisser, but not too wet. Don't slob on me.
Whether she's talking about dating in New York, finding the perfect man, or urging men to step up their game, she is confident and hilarious.
It don't matter what size it is. Don't lie to us about what you packing, because we gonna see it eventually, and it will disappoint us.
In fact, Leslie had us all hanging onto her every word and taking notes. Who knew that SNL could be such a great source for relationship advice? Number 19, Kathy Ann Vanderbilt. When we first met Kathy Ann, Michael Che would introduce her as the woman who's always yelling outside my window. To be fair, there is a lot for her to shout about.
What the hell? Ain't the whole point of saying white pride is to be proud of all that crap? Just say what you are. You're not McCafe, you're McDonald's. I'm not here for a fancy cappuccino. I'm here because I burned some bridges at Wendy's.
Always seen with a cigarette that she never lights, Kathy Ann actually speaks a lot of sense when it comes to current affairs. It's clear that she's been around the block a few times, which only adds to the hilarity of her anecdotes.
Trump wants that wall so bad, you think that thing was made of crack, right? He's like, where's that wall? Ooh, give me that wall. Daddy want that good wall.
Well,
Right?
he says he wants it for border security.
Security!
She's presented as unkempt and eccentric, but she wouldn't be amiss in public office. If it were up to her, the world would be a much better and funnier place. Number 18, the grumpy old man. Every family has that grouchy old relative who bitterly rages on about how the world used to be back in their day. Dana Carvey expertly embodies the age-old trope, giving us one of the funniest commentators in Weekend Update history.
I'm old and I'm not happy. Everything today is improved and I don't like it. I hate it.
His grumpy old man pretty much hates everything about modern life and nostalgically lives in the rather worrying and kinda dangerous past. Whether it's modern technology, clean water, fancy seatbelts, or just general culture, he has a gripe for everything.
In my day, we didn't know what to say when we were mad, so we just made up things like flibbity-flu, because we were idiots and that's how it was.
Carvey had countless memorable SNL characters. However, the ingenuity that went into accentuating the stereotypical grumpy old man's quirks makes this one of his finest. Number 17, the Devil. Among the most A-list guests on Update was Jason Sudeikis' The Devil.
Hey, thanks for having me, Seth.
Yeah, it's good to have you.
Did you get that rash I sent you?
No.
No. Oh, well, you will.
Okay.
Yeah, you will. But you're gonna have fun getting it, so
All right, okay.
there you go.
He would appear to offer his 2 bits after major news stories would cause all hell to break loose. Despite living among fire and brimstone, he's actually a pretty cool and laid-back kind of guy. Although you could always count on him to have a cutting quip at the ready. He also enjoyed taking credit for some of modern life's biggest nuisances.
You invented the internet?
Yeah, well, parts of it. I invented the comment sections. Obviously, tagging on Facebook, buffering, that's me. I'm the buffering guy. And the terms of service agreements.
This was easily one of Sudeikis' most iconic characters. We were thrilled when the devil took time out of his busy schedule to pay the update desk a visit again in 2021.
Well, you know when you're trying to read an article online and the ad at the top gets real big and it takes up half the screen, no matter how much you scroll, it's still there?
Number 16, Mr. Subliminal. Kevin Nealon's Mr. Subliminal is probably the least subtle guy in the biz. But it was the inventiveness and humor behind the character that made him such a major hit at the time.
But what's making headlines? Donald and Ivana Trump, greedy pigs. I mean, what's the big deal? The Trumps are just two normal people with normal problems. Therapy.
Advertising exec Phil Maloney used subliminal messaging techniques to share his real thoughts on current affairs. He was known to speak fast, mutter under his breath, and sneak extra words in between sentences. It's so clever and witty, yet today it is highly underrated. Nealon's ability to maintain composure while bouncing between two thoughts is brilliant.
To be honest with you, I have no connection whatsoever with this show anymore, lawsuits. In fact, I have not seen Lorne Michaels in like 4 years, restraining order.
Mr. Subliminal clearly made an impact, as in 1991, Nealon reprised the character for a beer commercial. Number 15, the girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party.
This might, shock you, but most Americans only use 10% of my brain.
This was Cecily Strong's first recurring character on Saturday Night Live. And we all know someone like her, the well-meaning girl with off-base hot takes on societal issues. She's a valley girl type that speaks in slurs and whose points are always forceful, even if her facts are most often flawed.
Just look at the statistics, Michael. For every 10 people, there are 20 people.
This gal can flip any topic to her advantage, leaving the understandably confused anchor struggling to keep up as she navigates world politics like a pinball. The girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party might not be smart in the traditional sense, but she sure understands the art of owning a conversation.
And close your eyes. Open them. Close them. Open just the left. Wink at me. Congratulations. That's assault.
The girl you wish you had to start a conversation with at a party, everyone.
Number 14, Jebediah Atkinson. These days, everyone's a critic, but none can quite match up to Taran Killam's Jebediah Atkinson. Inspired by a real news story, this 1860s critic is never short on cutting rhetoric, no matter what the subject. After all, this is the guy who found Lincoln's Gettysburg Address uninspiring.
4 snores and 7 yawns ago, this reviewer watched the president's speech at Gettysburg, and let's be honest, Abe, you dropped a real Lincoln log.
No one could play the bold and brassy fault finder quite like Taran. But some of his best moments occur when he gets so into the character that he throws himself off. Still, you can always rely on his excellent improv skills to steer things back on track.
I haven't liked any television ever! It's been 80 years of mind-poisoning refuse, and I've reviewed it all! Here are a few from the archives.
The fans love him, but we're not sure if the feeling is mutual. Number 13, Olya Pavlatsky. With Russia making headlines, Weekend Update introduced Olya as her country's representative.
But the Olympics are in Sochi, which, as I understood, is sort of a resort town, right?
A last resort, sir. I have been to Sochi one time. It was to throw myself into the sea.
Her misguided grasp on Americanisms often unveiled the harsh realities of her unnamed home village. Kate McKinnon's comedic prowess shines here as she manages to give a matter-of-fact commentary on Olya's bleak life and somehow still have us in stitches. Through an overstated accent, exaggerated facial expressions, and a dry delivery, she quickly became a popular visitor to the update desk.
Putin, I have 3 words for you. Cut it out.
Wait, is that from Full House?
Yes, we just get this show in Russia. I love this show.
Only Kate's quirky comedy flair could take such a miserable character and make her all the more endearing. She's one of the segment's darkest additions, but a welcome one nonetheless. Number 12, Michael Che's neighbor Willie. We don't know what neighborhood Michael Che lives in, but he's certainly surrounded by some colorful characters. One of which is his glass-half-full neighbor Willie, played by Kenan Thompson. Call it unwavering optimism or total delusion. Willie always chooses to see the bright side of life.
Oh, I just love Thanksgiving. My whole family getting together, sitting around the table, giving me an ultimatum to quit drinking.
Willie always chooses to see the bright side of life. He's eternally cheerful, if a bit naive, which makes his stories both eyebrow-raising and highly entertaining. You might not always follow his train of thought, but that's exactly what makes him so funny. Recently, Willie's wide-eyed, rose-tinted commentary has been exactly what we needed.
Aren't you worried about the side effects? Oh, Michael, we all have birth defects. I said side effects. But that's not the vaccine's fault. At most, it makes you a little sleepy. But you wake up in a tub of ice, good as new.
If you need cheering up, just listen to Willie and you'll be laughing in no time. Number 11, Get in the Cage. This recurring bit saw Andy Samberg as Nicolas Cage interviewing other celebrities. Well, we say interview, but actually he just berated them. Sandberg's Cage is entitled, a tad aggressive, and rather kooky.
I'm sure you would have made a great Ant-Man. Of course I would. I was born to play a superhero. I have my own natural supersuit. A thick, downy layer of coarse body hair.
His self-assuredness poked fun at the actor's unpredictable career choices. It often ended with Sandberg's Cage issuing a threat to his guests. Samberg wasn't exactly known for his impressions, but it was his overly exaggerated characterization that made it so memorable. What he lacked in likeness to the actor, he more than made up for with humor. Plus, Cage agreed to feature in the sketch, so he must have been doing something right.
I have to say, it sounds great.
Hey, you mind your manners, hair gel! Let's just calm down.
Number 10, Tommy Flanagan.
Thanks, but I'm not the president anymore. No, I'm the founder. Yeah.
Spontaneous and sly, this pathological liar knows how to spin a tall tale. Portrayed by John Lovitz, Tommy Flanagan makes up stories on the fly, often repeating the same points to make sure you know he's a big deal. He's not, of course, and his fidgety mannerisms hilariously complement his erratic storytelling. He's another relatable character, representing that one special friend who seeks attention but ultimately fails spectacularly whenever they open their mouths to speak. Tommy will lie about anything, and so by egging him on, the Weekend Update anchors are to use him as a source of endless entertainment. As for Lovitz, he absolutely kills it with the cadence and improvised wordplay.
Who do you think's gonna win this Philippine election, Bucko? Oh, I am. Yeah. Huh? Oh, I'll win easily. In fact, I've already won. Yeah.
Number 9, Bennett Brower.
That's right, Bennett Brower here with another commentary.
Here's a man who doesn't understand modern standards of fashion, hygiene, or propriety. Performed by Chris Farley, Bennett Brower struggles with self-confidence, using air quotes inappropriately to accentuate his perceived inadequacies. He's awkward, painfully self-aware, and way too willing to share with the audience.
Well, maybe I'm not the norm. I'm not camera-friendly. I don't wear clothes that fit me.
Taking into account his hygiene and hairstyle, one could safely assume that Bennett uses his own sweat as hair gel, which is both gross and unfortunate. With this character, Farley relies on repetition and physical comedy, with Brower's biggest moment arguably coming when he flies over the live studio audience, all of whom were likely concerned, maybe even terrified. Number 8, Jacob Silge. Portrayed by Will Ferrell, this gentleman speaks with clarity.
Thank you, Colin.
Unfortunately for the Weekend Update anchors, Jacob Silge also speaks loudly and without normal inflection due to his condition, voice immodulation syndrome. He covers a variety of topics, mixing politics with unfortunate facts about being Jacob Silge.
Holy God!
Yes, I'll get to religion, Tina. But first, Taiwan.
He can be quite rude, too, having proven that he's quick to get hostile when his voice is brought up. Through his brilliant improv skills, Ferrell manages to get Jacob's personality across while maintaining that distinct monotone pitch. Much like another classic Update character, Harry Carey.
Oh, you made a wise choice, my friend.
It's all about vocal inflection and whether or not Ferrell can get a laugh from the anchor.
It's just, couldn't you take a deep breath, lower your voice?
How dare you? I cannot do that.
Number 7, Jacob, the bar mitzvah boy.
Jacob, you know what? I can't imagine you being fresh to anybody because you're so sweet. Yeah?
Endearingly performed by Vanessa Bayer, this Jewish teenager sees the glass as half full. He comes prepared, and he's got jokes too. But Jacob is usually skeptical of SNL anchors, resulting in some hilariously one-sided attempts at conversation on the part of Michael Che.
So you're just gonna launch right into it, huh? Okay, that's cool.
It's a gender-bending role that emphasizes religious traditions and adolescent obedience. Jacob is a timid character with a heart of gold, and Bayer sells the performance with her trademark smile and comedic pacing. Whereas SNL performers improvise from a script, Jacob the bar mitzvah boy is fully locked into his own, and therein lies the comedic paradox.
Shabbat is the traditional day of rest, lasting from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday. I mean, I've heard of recess, but this is ridiculous.
Number 6, Garth and Kat.
Come on, make it right.
With these obnoxious characters, two SNL legends do what they do best: improvise. Portrayed by Fred Armisen and Kristen Wiig, Garth and Kat are indeed a hot mess, but they emit positive vibes. Their questionable style matches their performances, which are typically erratic and full of flair.
Okay, you know what? I just don't think this is gonna work out.
Mr. Miners, come on!
Please,
Mr. Miners,
We need it, Mr. Miners. It's Mr. Myers, and you know that. Oh, that's what we said.
Garth and Kat always show up with purpose, but never actually come through, which irritates the Weekend Update anchors. These two have a special bond, one that speaks to the undeniable comedic chemistry between these two performers. Unpredictable and peppy, Garth and Kat were born to be stars, just not on the news.
Oh, there was a dreidel I saw in the snow, and the snow was in a pile.
Number 5, Emily Litella. Emily Litella was a hard-of-hearing elderly correspondent based on a woman that Gilda Radner used to know. Supposedly a spoof of the fairness doctrine, Emily would often misread her statements, much to the frustration of her co-anchors.
I say there should be more violins on television and less game shows. It's terrible the way things...
Miss Litella, that was violence on television, not violins. Violence.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yes.
Her high-pitched voice and passionate rants were the centerpiece of the segment, only countered by a cheery "never mind" when the anchors set her straight. Her rapport with Chevy Chase and later Jane Curtin was hilariously on point as well.
I just think that, well, you should from now on try to do your best, okay?
Oh, yes, dear, and I'm very, very sorry, and I promise from now on I will do my best.
See that you do.
Bitch.
Emily Litella was the first ever Weekend Update correspondent. She might not have been the best at her job, but she certainly set the bar high. Number 4, Drunk Uncle.
Plus, we got Black Friday now? Barf! Wasn't February enough?
Performed by SNL veteran Bobby Moynihan, Drunk Uncle is your faux-friendly family member that steals the show with questionable commentary. He's a sympathetic figure, as he's perpetually boozed up, which makes his political rants both mildly disturbing and entertaining. Drunk Uncle takes exception to politically correct dialogue, and while he may not actually be a horrible person, he does reveal troubling thoughts from time to time.
They're like, oh, trick or treat. Well, guess what? We already got tricked. It's called Pearl Harbor.
For a physical comic like Bobby Moynihan, this character allows him to accentuate all those little things that make Drunk Uncles everywhere so memorable. Though Drunk Uncle may arguably be his crowning achievement, Moynihan has brought us many classic characters, like Anthony Crispino and Riblet.
A new study finds that people who like grilled cheese sandwiches have more sex. This according to a grilled cheese sandwich I just ate at Shay's mama's house. Oh!
Number 3, Opera Man.
Tom Hanks on nominato, second time, oh, you're a great oh. Next year vacation, go to France, oh, give someone else a freaking chance, oh.
With this expressive character, Adam Sandler seriously flexed his comedic muscles. Opera Man looks and sounds the part, singing the news with a satirical slant. He mixes and matches words, creating his own version of Italian, complete with that buffoonish edge that fuels so many classic Sandler characters. He's a traditional vocalist with an unorthodox style of delivery, allowing Sandler to have fun and comically exaggerate his singing voice. Opperman helped Sandler further develop his gonzo brand of comedy, while functioning as one of SNL's more unique Weekend Update commentators. Number 2, Roseanna.
I keep asking myself, Roseanna Dana, if they can make a coffee you like without caffeine, why can't they make a hamburger you like with no toenails?
Portrayed by the legendary Gilda Radner, and based on real-life anchorwoman Roseanne Scamardella, this intense character is a real piece of work. She comments on current events, but Roseanna Dana's ego and blunt personality prove to be the main focus.
Well, let me tell you that I, Roseanna Dana, started to lose my appetite.
With her edgy style and no-nonsense approach, Roseanna Dana embodies a typical Big Apple elitist, with Radner providing depth through her remarkable diversity as a performer. Roseanna Dana will gab and exaggerate until the anchor calls her out, and then she'll gab some more. Roseanna Dana is a big fan of Roseanna Dana, but hey, so were the viewers.
Roseanne, just how serious is an aneurysm?
Oh, it's a rough one, Jag.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions. Rebecca LaRue. Rebecca's flirting skills were more awkward than arousing.
Rebecca, you are making me very uncomfortable.
No, I'm not.
You kind of are.
Father Guido Sarducci. Who knew that a gossip column priest would be this entertaining?
I decided to one day quit my job, start a new church, and name myself the Pope. And that's what I did.
Guy who just bought a boat. You know what they say about guys with small sails.
I'm here to teach you how to score some Giny whilst keeping your tiny hiney on this side of the liney.
Don Lazarus. This is probably why Weekend Update doesn't typically include a weather segment.
Precipitation's gonna have it, and if I'm you, cancel at that picnic and get it l'umbrella. Woo! At the map, we got it wet from here all the way into here. And that's that sky.
Tim Calhoun. Would this soft-spoken politician really be all that out of place in office?
I propose a little more California and a little less Mexico.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Stefan.
If you're headed to NYC, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps, the thriller in Manila, then I know just the place for you. New York's hottest club is Burns.
This update correspondent has everything. Straight bangs, the ability to paint a picture with upsetting words, MTV's Dan Cortez.
This place has everything. Asbestos, lupus, the magazines at Supercuts, Dan Cortez.
As the Weekend Update city correspondent, Stefan's tourist recommendations stray from the norm, as evidenced by his bizarre yet fascinating commentaries. On the surface, SNL's Bill Hader infuses the persona with a distinct personality, but Stefan's absolute best moments come when Hader breaks character.
New York's hottest club is Twice. Don't be thrown off when you're greeted at the door by a rabbi that looks like Joaquin Phoenix. You're in the right place.
After all, SNL is a live show, and the cue cards occasionally change between rehearsal to air. As a result, Hader's reactions are often genuine, and all in the name of improvisation. In the end, Stefan's comedic banter with Seth Meyers transcends the usual guest-anchor relationship.
And Stefan, Seth has told me so much about you.
Keep my man's name out your mouth.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.